While Heartless 13 may be out of reach, I figured I might as well try the Data Organization 13 before I tried Heartless 13. And besides, this is the one that I really wanted to finish before Kingdom Hearts 3. So let's see if I can do it keyless. First up is Zigvar. I believe that's his name. He is more of a battle of patience and endurance, since you can use his own shots to damage him. I also figured Thunder was a pretty good way to quickly wake him up no matter what range he was at. And Reflect is an emergency guard. It also deflects the huge shots that Zigvar uses. Like I said, this is a battle of endurance. It's long, it's hard. Let me clip ahead. Now here's the inspiration behind Undertale. Here we've got Sans using his Gastro blasters from the sides. And now for his finisher, where the Gastro blasters just circle you and you have to circle around him quickly. You can see it, right? I'm battling Sans. And here I accidentally went into Valor form rather than Wisdom. I can't attack while in this form, but the running is less slippery than with Wisdom form. It's easier to get past. Unfortunately, Donald goes down as well, so... But at this point, I don't need Donald. I'm just whittling him down. He's almost out. I just need Thunder to beat him. First down. Next up, I went with Axel, since I thought he might be impossible. But remember the terminology of my rule. I have to hit an enemy for HP damage. But this kept on happening. I kept on losing to him because I was learning and I couldn't predict him. But once I did learn him, he was a piece of cake. Less than 30 seconds to beat. Let's take a look. And the hard part about Axel is you have to knock him into the firewall when he's low, or else he'll use his, I believe the term is limits. And here I got it. Remember, he's at 1 HP and he cannot drop any lowers. So by the rule I had set, that counts. I did not deal him any HP damage with the Keyblade directly. Axel, you were good, but you were only average hard. Next up, I decided to prove how good of an other I am again. And this guy is relentless. Roxas does not give up. You have to know when to stop using Reflect and when you're at a safe distance from his attacks to use Reflect. However, I can accidentally hit him, so I have to give up. I am being strict about my rules as I had evolved during the game. Now this is just heartbreaking. Because as you can see here, or at some point, when you dodge roll, the Keyblades attack for you. So I didn't realize it at this point. I had lost, but still the point remains. And also look right there. You deal him damage as you fling him up. You are striking him to make him let go of the Keyblade, not striking his Keyblades and passively somehow causing damage. Now that one was real close, but I didn't activate the end. I didn't attack him with the Keyblades. I didn't dodge roll into him with the Keyblades. That was a fair win. Vexen took me a little bit to learn, but I beat him on my first real attempt. What I didn't realize was that his shield was impervious to quote-unquote magic attacks, so I had to hit him with quote-unquote physical attacks. Luckily, I could just use Wisdom Form shots to do that. Then once he's exposed, I can hit him with fire. which he is incredibly weak to. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite learn how to dodge these while attacking. This is my very first time seeing it. Literally, first time seeing this. First time I got this far. First time I was not experimenting. Oh, did Reflect also knock it off? That is something to keep in mind. Now, Antiform, you're using Fire. You don't really have to worry about it. You're using Wisdom Form. You're long range. You don't really have to worry about it. And easy win. I guess the only really hard part about him in Chain of Memories was that you needed to use slates. Nice job. You were harder in the original. And you might have noticed that I didn't upload me doing the versions of them that are scattered throughout the worlds. That's because I figured the data form was harder. If you can beat him data, you can beat him original. Larxene, one of my favorite organization members in terms of personality. This is my very first time going in. I'm watching her. I'm trying to figure out when to dodge, when to reflect, how to combo into it, what magic I might use. You can see I'm just watching. I'm not really trying. And then I decided to go Wisdom Form and see how this does. See how good Reflect is. Very first time I'm experimenting. And Reflect appears to be really good. She just has a lot of attacks that I need to learn. I thought that this would be a hard battle, so I decided to spam Reflect, see what I can learn, get in, see how I can trigger her into attacking. And she's going down really quickly. Having two bodies means that Reflect does twice the damage, apparently. You can see she's already down to 2.25 bars left. Make that 1.25 bar left. And at this point, I realized maybe I can beat her. But maybe not before Wisdom Form runs out. Or, yes, I did, as Wisdom Form ran out. Good timing. Lucky me. First try. Wasn't even trying. I was just learning. I guess you're one of the easiest, Larxene. Why did they make you so much worse in this game? Now for Demix. Demix, he's annoying due to Dance Water Dance. Luckily, Wisdom Form chases down the targets. But I don't think I equipped the Keyblade that made my Wisdom Form stick around longer. I did. Okay, come on, slow down. Show me what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing the one that gives you faster magic recovery, and I messed up there. I completely wasted it and went into anti-form. So I decided to just experiment with anti-form, see how good it was here. Decent at combos. It could be that I can just juggle him to death, since I don't think he can do much in the air, except for that. Yeah, anti-form. If people say that there's not a floaty problem in Kingdom Hearts 2, just show them anti-form combat. Whenever I went into this form during combat, it was too floaty, and I died because I couldn't reach the boss. Literally. I'd think I might be in range, so I'd try him, but then I'd fail. So even with this poor of a run, where I accidentally hit Valor Form and accidentally hit Anti-Form rather than Wisdom Form. Okay, I didn't hit him for HP. You didn't see it go down. And here I've got him trapped in a corner. Perfect time to use Dance Water Dance. And as I'm hitting these water clones, I'm slowly recovering my drive gauge. And since they're pinned, it doesn't take me much movements to actually do this. I get enough to do Wisdom Form and immediately go in. I really should have equipped the Keyblade that makes Wisdom Form last longer. "42 forms to go. This dance, water dance is annoying. 10 seconds and 3 left. I had reverted back to base form and finished it and him off with the same fire. Lucky placement, lucky me. First shot, easier than Larxene. And that's saying something. Zexion, I decided to challenge next. There was a minor problem with my terminology here. Because if you get caught in his book, well, you'll see. He always goes after Donald first. And I need Wisdom Form. The problem with me was initially was that I didn't watch the speedrunning community. I didn't try to learn their strategies. And as it turns out, you're supposed to fire combo him down. You're not supposed to fire finish chase. And here's the problem. This world right here. The book, it's at 1 HP. You have to get out of the book, out of this illusion by striking the book directly with the Keyblade. However, unlike when you battled the Heartless at Beast Castle, you can hit and have the HP bar disappear. That counted as damage. Luckily, after watching them, there was a combo we can do to beat him in the overworld. Took a while, but I managed to do it. Zexion, his lexicon is down. His illusion was lost. After this point, I realized that it might actually be possible, so I started live streaming, and I went to Marluxia. Marluxia and his Saix. I figured that you might be difficult, or you might be easy, as with all the Chain of Memories bosses. I might beat him on my first go. I go with the Wisdom Form Reflect, since I see that I was covered in stuff that can hurt me. And I may not be 100% sure if you can use those floor things to activate Reflect, but then I go into Anti-Form again. And as you know, too floaty, you can't get down to the boss. He can attack you while you're up there. It's really hard to get down. Some of his attacks go through yours. And even when you think that you should be able to hit him in range, you're still barely above him. Yeah, here's where I took a lot of damage. And I couldn't quite get down to him. This is really hard. Excuse me. Marluxia. Pardon me. Marluxia never challenged him as Anti-Form. Wisdom Form, it has its shots, it has thunder, and I forgot what I was supposed to do with Lingering Will. You actually get invincibility frames as you use aerial recovery. You can use that to save one, then reflect the rest. And Marluxia took me a while to learn. A little bit to learn, as you can see from that elapsed time. But you can beat him. Not too hard. Next up is Saix. Moonshine Down. Luckily, I learned from the speedrunning community that you can enter Wisdom Form to interrupt his supercharge. I just didn't use it as often as I should have. Fire once again. I figured I might as well go for the quick chasing damage. And fire can interrupt his charging right there. At this point, Wisdom Form becomes detrimental because you can't dodge as easily as you'd hope. unlike with other forms, if you get into the air, you have a chance. And something I learned is that he does that reactionary when you attack him. So after a bit, I learned that I need to attack him or reflect hit him and then reflect into that down strike. Why is it that the KH2 data battles are harder than the Chain of Memories ones? And once again, I get anti-form. My luck. Never use anti-form on a boss fight. Yeah, that is where I learned I had to bait him into reacting. Unfortunately, and I also learned that he recovers quickly after you use Magma Storm, and either counter strikes or recharges Berserk. You have to use your sidestep to quickly dodge. You also have to choose the right angle and not get in a corner like that. Bait him into a reflect counter. Take out his Berserk, chase him down, reflect to hit him, and then bludgeon him with Eclipse Magna Storm. Reflect again. And here's where I realized I was out of Wisdom form. Went back into it. Didn't call right what he'd do. Time to dodge. I probably should have stayed out of Wisdom form so I could glide dodge away from him. But sidestepping by using your shots in the air might also be worth it. And here's where I forgot what I was supposed to do. So close, and I'm choking. I'm getting him out of the Berserk state. He's vulnerable to damage. He's in a corner. And I reflect him to death. Overall, not too hard. He's in the middle, maybe middle low. And then I made the worst mistake of my life. Watch that elapsed time timer. Xaldin is a monster. Learn has you striking him with the Keyblade. You cannot use Learn. Therefore, he always keeps his arrow guard up. You cannot beat him easily. I experimented. I tried Peter Pan. I tried Genie. I tried Chicken Little for a bit. I tried to figure out what was the best way to damage him without actually getting in close without invincibility frames. He's relentless when he's at low HP. He's impossible. Next day, next stream, I decided to do Luxord. And I learned why I stay away from casinos. If I were to gamble, even using cheats like pausing, I'm a horrible, horrible timer. And I'm not just horrible. I'm horrible consistently. Donald Duck has more good luck than me. Much better luck than me. I learned that attacking him at the beginning doesn't really do too much. That's unfortunate. This guy was so luck-based, I decided to focus on him for the bit. And then I realized something. If I can't play his game, let's have him play mine. That dealt a little bit of damage. And also, when he leaps, if you go to where he's leaping to, you can deal him some damage as well. like that. That does more since you are playing on your rules rather than his. And eventually you'll get him to the point where it'll be time to play his end game. It'll take a while, but you can easily peek at his shuffle. And luckily this thing is sloped just right. And you can lock on or move the camera to see where he is, try to figure out what you're supposed to do. Now let's see if my luck holds out. Luckily I have a lot of time for if I mess up. And I do. Strike one. And I learned that dice wears up off faster if you attack him, but if you attack him, you're more likely to be knocked out. Here's my second attempt. Cards are up. O's are down. And I hit the X again. Strike two. I do not have time to mess around. So I hit him hard. I save as much time as I can. Is third time the charm? Yes, it is. And then with a quick thunder, not even a thunder finisher, he's out. Luxord, may I never have to challenge you keyless again. Xemnas, I learned something pretty quickly early on in the fight. Number one, his combos are much longer than they used to be. Number two, if he pushes you straight back, you'll be pinned in this corner, and that wall will hurt. Three, if you stay close to him, he's relentless even at higher HP. I decided to speed this up to kind of show that, yes, it's about the same as when you're battling him before. He's just a little more relentless and a little longer of a combo. You're going to use more magic trying to beat him. Also, reflect. His guard does not always let reflect through. This part, about the same. You shouldn't hit him in the air. You should also glide a little bit if you're recharging magic during that little clip. That way you are guaranteed not to be hit and let it restore. Hit him with reflect while he's hitting you to finish him. Next up here, let me show you your favorite attack. It'll chase you down, and unlike before, it will hit you if you reflect inside it. However, he will never put the ball where it can touch him. So just get as close to him as fast as you can and spam reflect. He's already 1/4 down, 1/3 down, and he's already using this to try to counter. Now, this is about the same. Approach at an angle, keep away the clone with Dark Aura, and then you can rescue. Fire to wake him up, and then he goes into his bullets. You can actually, I learned this as I was doing it the first time. This is the first and only time. But if you release reflect early enough, you can actually hit him while he's spawning more. See? He's already 2/3 down. Now he's using my favorite attack. Time for me to go in. He's got 3 bars left. I can't see how many bars. Okay, he has 1.5. He's on his last bar, and he goes into his cage. This is the same as before. The cutscene is the same. And like I said during the proper run, if there's no HP bar, you're fine. There's no HP bar, during this cutscene, and for all you know, all the damage happens by Riku or when you release this beam at the end. Sure, we see him getting pummeled by the Keyblade, but there's no HP bar, and we cannot confirm or deny where that all the damage did not come from that. Now I tried for Thunder, and unlike before, you can't beat him with Thunder. Luckily, he just stays down for you to beat, and Fire this time is the finisher. Next up is Alexius. I remembered hating him, but I decided to try to spam him like I spammed Xaldin. In other words, let's get quackers. And this works. You're invincible. He's not, mostly. And if you take damage from his attacks, your buddies are more likely to use an elixir on you. Just dodge away from them and he'll focus on you, and they won't use it on each other. All in all, it only took one try to beat him, and I realized that you can use Reflect while the limit is still going on. First try, first win. Elapsed time kind of shows that, yes, it was all one run. Last, and certainly the hardest, Xaldin. Xaldin. I might as well skip to the run that actually managed to beat him. I'll be quiet now.
Just one of you. Donald! Really? Bad luck. Donald, Goose! Last bar. Whoops. Yeah, so months ago. Season 1 and 2. No, not by a long shot. He's healing me and keeping him away from me. Come on, I just need to figure out the magic that allows me to finish him.
Beware the face of despair.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes! That is all 13 members of Organization 13 taken down in one without using any physical attacks.